Uh, Brooklyn. So what we're going to do today, we have a warm up in Canvas. We'll look at that. We are going to review our marketing effects projects. If anybody has a project that they are interested in sharing, I will ask at the start. That would be fun. Otherwise, I have a couple selected that I just wanted to share to show how people are doing this. Some people are doing them in slides, some are doing it on the sheet. There's a couple things that people seem to have some problems with sort of understanding. So I wanted to go over that and show the variety of styles and methods of delivering information. Show some that are excellent, some that aren't quite as excellent, but are still delivering really good content and getting kids engaged in finding out about marketing. So that's what excites me. Okay, so once we go through our projects, we are going to review for a quiz that you'll have a week to work on, okay? So basically, we are just continuing on this idea of costs and benefits of innovation, costs and benefits of technologies. What are good things that you get from this? What are bad things that you get from this? We've done this a lot. We talked about the car last time. We're going to talk about automation this time. There was another quiz that I don't think I'm going to give you about the costs and benefits of automation. So I thought we would talk about that and get our ideas going, and then we'll go over what our project is. Our project is going to be a little more freeform, that it is going to be the idea that take a look at industries. You're supposed to imagine some kind of machine that is going to take a process from a 10-hour process down to a 1-hour process. So this could be a robot welder on an assembly line, that it would be able to make welds much faster, accurately, and more effectively than a human. It would cut the time to do 10 cars from 10 hours down to 1 hour. Then you need to say, what would 3 advantages of such a machine be? And what would 3 disadvantages of such a machine be? Okay? So that's the basics. There it is. Of what we're going to be doing today. What needed to be turned in right before break was your engineering and technological design project, which we will be looking at today. And there was the quiz on engineering and technological design and the marketing effects on technology project. So what our goal for today is that you will be able to evaluate and understand the ways that help a product succeed or fail through studying product marketing campaigns. We will continue discussing benefits and consequences of products and technology. All right. So let's go through the warm-up. I'm going to stop sharing so I can look at it. All right, here we are. Everybody know where the warm-up is? It is right here in your module. So the warm-up is up here. This is going to be our long-term project. We're not working with this vocabulary quiz right now. We're going to work with that next week, unless everything goes a lot faster for us. Okay? So let's look at the warm-up. I'm going to stop sharing since I showed you the answers. Actually, I can do this without showing you the answers. Okay, so question 1. We're going back to our work from last week. There are technological designers and there are engineering designers. They do different things, and I just wanted to remind you of that. I could only speak, it would help. All right, there's Julie. So technological designers design for everything, but which one of these is not something a technological designer would come up with? Are technological designers interested in aesthetics? Are they interested in function? Are they interested in technical specs? Or are they interested in fitness for purpose? Which one is something that a technological designer would not create? You can put it in the chat. Oh, look, somebody already says 3. Technical specs, says Brooklyn. How do we feel about that? What is it that technological designers design for? Ooh, and I have an exciting new random question person caller. Don't want to be on Facebook. So we're going to try that out. Okay. So technologicals designers design for who or what? Let's just see. I don't think Dylan is here. I'm pretty positive. Imani Simon, are you here? No, he's not. I don't think Tamini. Yes, Tamini, do you have an idea of who technological designers design for? Tamini, are you here?
Yes.
Okay. What's the difference between the technological designer and the engineering designer? I'm saying technological designers are designing for what?
Technical specs.
No, that's the engineers. Remember, the engineers are the technical ones. So the technological designers, and you're right, it makes sense that a technological designer would make a technical spec, but what I was trying to get at was the idea that they are designing for humans, that they are designing, the technological designers are creating a product that works, a product that you want to buy, a product that is warm and fuzzy. Like, let's say they were designing a blanket. Okay, the blanket is going to be lightweight, but incredibly soft and fuzzy, incredibly warm, and it's going to have a picture of a puppy on it. Okay, so the technological designer is saying this needs to be lightweight, it needs to be warm, it needs to be soft and cuddly, and it needs a photo printed on it. They give those specifications to the engineering designer, and it's up to the engineering designer to figure out what materials are going to be incredibly soft and lightweight, what's going to weave well into a blanket, how are we going to print a picture on fiber, all those things. They are in charge of execution. That basically the technological designer has a nice job. They get to dream up the most beautiful thing they can imagine, but they are not tied to reality when they are doing that. So the person who is tied to reality is the engineering designer. They're the ones that have to decide, how are we going to build this item on an assembly line or in reality. The technological designer is thinking, how am I going to make this a product that people want, that appeals to people, that is going to feel good in your hand, that you're going to feel is a quality tool, those kinds of things. All right. The next question is easy. So which side of your brain is the creative side? Anybody remember?
Right.
Whoop, Dixon says it's the right side. Anybody for left? We've got rights all the way. Right it is. I always think it's interesting because I feel that your left brain should be your creative one and your right brain should be your analytic, but it's the other way around. Okay, so we are done with this phase of operation. Let me stop sharing. Let me make sure that other people can share. Now, my question for you guys is, does anyone have a project that they would like to share with the class? Your marketing success and failure project. If somebody would like to share their project, I've seen some really nice ones from this class. So if anybody wants to share that out, I am more than willing to let you take control. You don't have to go through every piece, you can summarize. But otherwise, I'm gonna share out a couple of these just so that everyone can see how people are doing this, what the different ways are, and how different levels of skill in terms of your ability to analyze these problems and present them. So I have some that are written on sheets, some that are slide presentations. I gotta say, the slide presentations look a lot slicker in terms of a marketing presentation. But there's great information on the sheets. So I'll offer it up once again. Anybody want to show off their project? Anybody proud of what they did? Everyone's just recovering for being back in school after Thanksgiving. All right, I will take the lead. I'm going to start with a couple on paper. Okay? You are not going to get my nephew and his 2 daughters. Okay, I think I know how I'm going to do this. No, I don't want that one. All right. Share a Coke, and then here is there. Okay. So let me start with this one. So I've only gotten about 25 of these. I should be getting about 70. So what I want to do here is show you some of the ways that these are working and aren't working, and that it should not be that painful to do. It should be fun. I know that's hard. Okay, so this is one that's done on the sheet. Okay, what is the name of the product the advertisement is promoting? Include a link to the advertisement if available. Okay, we've got Nintendo Switch and Samsung Galaxy Fold. Okay, so these are our 2 products. Nintendo Switch is the product that's working. Samsung Galaxy Fold is the product that's failing. They don't have a link to an ad. Oh well, what attracted you to the advertisement or was terrible? I liked the advertisement for the Switch because it looked colorful and fun. I didn't like the ad for the Fold because the phone just looked like an advanced flip phone to me. Okay, so there was an advertisement I would have liked to link here. What are the current sales figures for the product? 55.7 million Nintendo Switches have been sold since it was released in March of 2017. So that's nice. It's pretty recent. Get us some good numbers. Only 1 million Samsung Folds have been sold since it was released in September of 2019. So that's saying, what, if we took 2 years off, if they sold 1 million basically in a year, and Nintendo sold 55 million in 3 years. So that's obviously a big marketing problem. What market factors influence the product? Okay, so here is a place where some people got confused. How do the identified market factors influence the product? What market they are in and who their target market is affects if it will be bought. Also, that the demand for this, for a certain product is, or the competition that they might have, that they're talking about marketing. What I'm talking about here and for, what market factors influence the product. So a market factor right now, it's not a fad, but it's certainly a factor like elections, is COVID, right? Everyone's locked in. That might be a market factor that would influence how many people were buying Nintendo Switches, because the Switch is a video game that you play in your home when you're bored. And a lot of people are home bored these days, okay? So those are the market factors. Market factors are, it's a bull stock market, it's a bear stock market. Is the stock market going up? Is the stock market going down? Is the country's GDP going up or is it going down? Are we in a recession or not? Those are things that will affect that. So here's one of my favorite parts of this report. What is the target demographic for the advertisement? What are some examples of how the advertisement targets the identified demographic? A lot of people weren't quite understanding what a demographic was, or how it's just a section of the population that this person wants to get their product to. Typically, you're using demographics to sell advertising. So if I have a TV station and I'm running a movie, let's say Kung Fu Panda, all right? Ideally, this is probably a kid's audience, age 2 to 25, sort of. I mean, I think anyone can watch it, but primarily an animated feature film is geared towards youth. So when I am selling my 30-second, 15-second, and 1-minute advertising spots to sell an ad while I'm airing Kung Fu Panda, the people who want to buy that ad are the people who want to sell their product to kids age 2 to 25. They will pay you a premium to get that advertising in front of that demographic. Those are the people that they feel have the interest and the wherewithal, the money to buy something like a Nintendo Switch, okay? So Nintendo, ages 5 to 25, income, middle class. You don't have to be rich to buy one. They're not cheap though. Gender is not specific. It's for men and women. And interests are video game and connecting with trends and friends. That is a beautiful explanation of who this product is being marketed to. We've got an age group, we've got an income level, we've got, is it men or women, and we've got who is going to be interested in this product. So the Samsung is 20 and up, income, middle class. That again, actually, I think the Samsung Fold was very expensive, possibly $2,000. I know it was at least $1,000. Gender, men and women, interests, like good cameras, like to be ahead of all technology trends. The Fold was an innovation, right? It was the idea that you're getting twice the space of a regular phone by having a phone that folds out its screen. Now we get into this part, which is how is the product advertised? You go to the website, it's advertised as versatile and for everyone, and have games that can be fun for all ages, and you can play with many players at a time. Who is the target? Probably kids. The economy didn't really affect the sales as far as I can tell, but since COVID-19 has started, sales have gone up since people are home and have nothing to do. There we go. That is a market factor. What were the goals of the company? We believe it was essential to provide a product of the highest quality, but treat every customer with attention, consideration, and respect. You'll see later on a situation where customers were not necessarily treated with attention, consideration, and respect, and it had disastrous results. Putting smiles on the faces of everyone Nintendo touches. That's a nice one. Were there any fads that contributed? No, it doesn't. Where is this stuck? They came out with a game recently called Animal Crossing. So many people loved it. It has been great for their sales. All right, now our failed product is the Fold. Advertised on the Samsung website, new phone of the future, incredible design and camera. Who's the target customer? People in need of a new phone, people who make a good amount of money per year. Since COVID-19, the economy has gone down, but also since people aren't really going where, they don't really need a new phone. Also, the phone is very expensive, about $2,000. The company is Samsung. Their goal is that we will devote our human resources and technology to create superior products and services, thereby contributing to a better global society. And then here are the sources. Okay, so the one thing that seems to be missing from our Galaxy Fold is what made it such a significant failure. We understand that its sales weren't great, but why? There must have been something that made that a problem. And as far as I understand, it's the idea that the screens, when you folded them out, were very fragile, that they tended to break or have technical issues. And when you're paying $1,000, $2,000 for a phone, that's not fun. Okay, so that's a solid, pretty solid paper version of one of these marketing pieces. Hang on, let me go to another. Okay, so this one, the person forgot or didn't notice that there were 5 questions up here. What's the name of the product? What attracted you to the advertisement or was terrible? What are current sales figures? What market factors influence the product? How did they influence the product? What is the target demographic? What are some examples? Okay, so they've missed that part, but they're down here and they're looking at the Share Coke campaign. Target consumer was everyone. That's a little broad, right? It's true, most people drink Coke, but I would say typically carbonated, caffeinated beverages are being marketed to a young audience. So let's say, 12 to 35, something in there. So most parents don't want little kids drinking caffeine just because it gets you all amped up. So I would say 12, maybe 15 is the bottom line for kids. But you want to think of who is this targeted at? And it is a wide thing because everyone has a name, and that's part of this. So Coke's goal is to incite to buy Coke and share another one. This is what's called a direct action campaign. It is an advertising campaign that is asking you to physically do something, to pick up a Coke and share one with a friend, to order a custom name on your Coke bottle. So saying share makes people think about getting another person one product as well. All right, so that's a little basic. But it has some good solid information in it. This one is tough because they didn't put the name of the product in my failed product. So Procter & Gamble's cleaning products company, quote unquote, this Mother's Day, get back to the job that really matters, was their advertising campaign. Who was the target consumer? In theory, women. How did the economy affect sales of the product? And again, this is not what this is. The economy is bad, less people can buy the product. That's true. My question is, what was the economy doing while they were selling this product or this advertising campaign? Okay, so now we get the company is not Mr. Clean. The company is actually Procter & Gamble. The product is Mr. Clean. Everybody know what Mr. Clean is? It's floor washing detergent. Okay, so I have a question for the ladies in the room. If a company came out with an ad campaign that says, this Mother's Day, get back to the job that really matters, and showed you detergent for scrubbing floors, how would that make you feel?
It's a bit sexist if it's like targeted towards women. Kind
Right.
of.
And it seems relatively demeaning that, like, oh, what I really want to be doing is on my hands and knees scrubbing a dirty floor. You know, that Mr. Clean's a great product, but it is not, going to clean the floor by itself. So, on that note, did this person make that connection? So, who is the target consumer? The economy. Mr. Clean used the fact that it was Mother's Day to promote their cleaning products, making it seem that only women clean. That was his problem with the ad. So he did see that. So again, this is not the quality that I'm hoping for in terms of being 100% perfect, but I really like this, that the person who did this was looking at things, trying to make some connections, and that they're going to do a much better job the next time they do this because they're going to be a little more familiar at hunting up some of these facts and ideas. But I really like this. I felt that it hit a bunch of nice points. And the idea that this ad campaign uh, was so bad was fun. The one thing I feel I'm missing is, did just this ad campaign make this fail? I wish I had some numbers. I wish I had a better understanding of why this product failed so badly, other than their advertising was geared towards women wanting to scrub floors. Okay. So now the last one I'm just going to quickly go through is the first person who came up with the idea for the Share a Coke campaign. So this will give you an idea of a far more robust presentation of the information that I'm actually looking for on this. He did come in on a Wednesday and work with me and go through some of these things, and we found some of these great things. All right, so the name of the product is Coca-Cola, and it's the Share a Coke campaign. Ad News Australia, Share a Coke campaign 2019 YouTube. We could watch an ad. All right, so share a Coke with a friend. It's the names on the Coke bottles. Thanks for giving me the advertisement. Ooh, and here's this other one. It's the LifeLock one. And what's great about this is this ad still has his social security number. If you look this up on the web, almost all of them have it scratched out. So extra points for getting the original. What attracted you or what was terrible? The Share a Coke advertisement attracted me because it replaced one of its iconic logos with the top 250 popular names and popular song lyrics on the labels of the product. It seemed kind of cool to him. LifeLock was terrible because the CEO of the company published his social security number on the sides of cargo trucks in New York City and on his website as an advertisement to show LifeLock can make your personal information useless to criminals. But he failed, and the company let his ID be stolen 13 times. So what are the current sales figures? And these come from the marketing magazines. So these are not the sales, but it's some other things that are reflected. After the Share a Coke campaign was released in Australia, it sold more than 250 million name bottles and cans in a nation of just 23 million people. The campaign had since made its way around the world, reaching more than 70 countries to date and achieving a 2% increase in soft drink sales, increasing Coke consumption from 1.7 billion servings a day to 1.9. So that is a lot. That's going to be significant money for the Coca-Cola company. LifeLock's figures. LifeLock got hit a rough patch. It had to refund $100 million to consumers affected by its alleged order violations and settle charges with the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, and 35 state attorneys general that used false claims to promote that LifeLock used false claims to promote its identity theft protection services. The settlement required LifeLock to stop making deceptive claims, strengthen measures to safeguard the personal information it collects from consumers, and pay the FTC $11 million for consumer refunds. More than 500,000 photos were shared, 6 million virtual Coke bottles were made, 25 million Facebook users joined up. So those are significant figures for Coke. For LifeLock, many people were being a victim of identity theft, apparently, especially with a high income. And people age 18 to 24 were one of the groups most susceptible to identity theft. LifeLock was trying to protect against identity fraud. They saw a need and they went to fill that need. People were having their identities stolen and they created a company to stop that. They just said that they were more effective than they actually were. And they got caught saying that. Target demographic, almost everybody for Coke. LifeLock is 16. I mean, I would guess it's more 20 to 65. Those are usually the people making incomes. Okay, so all that information came in those top 5 questions. Then he breaks it out more, various channels, billboards. So it said Coke was targeting everyone, but the teens and young adults are the #1 fan. That makes sense to me. How did the economy affect the sales? Coke's Share a Coke campaign, which saw names like Chris, Alex, Jess, as well as monikers like BFF and Wingman emblazoned on bottles and cans, is credited for increasing the company's US soft drink sales by 0.4% year over year. And containers seem perfectly designed for social media for people to post. So 0.4% does not seem like an incredible amount. When you think of how much money Coca-Cola makes per year, it's probably in the billions. So 0.4 is still millions and millions of dollars. Okay. Increase the consumption of Coca-Cola over the summer period and engage customers by talking to them. Campaign was popular, earned most liked photo on Instagram at the time, with Selma Gomez posting a photo for the campaign. A huge amount of social media content was created, encouraging many to consume and participate. That is the kind of ad campaign companies are dying for. One where people jump in and actively participate of their own accord. It's very difficult to achieve. Okay, our failed product. It was advertised on trucks and billboards. People making over $75,000 were the target demographic. How does the economy affect it? Because of widely advertising the CEO's number, they hacked the company, had to pay $11 million. That's not really speaking to how the economy affected sales, but that's fine. LifeLock to show that LifeLock makes your personal information useless to a criminal, which apparently is wrong. Fads that contributed, this is not really a fad. It says LifeLock exposed millions of its customers' email addresses. And this could be they could harvest the data, targeted phishing, et cetera. So those are just some examples of ways that we can use the paper forms. Oh gosh, I wasn't presenting the right one. You got to tell me. All right, hang on. We're going to get to the right ones. Let me. Okay. I think we're running out of time. So I'm going to pick one that's not from our class. All right. So this is the last one I'm going to look at, but it is a slideshow. So the slides make it look a lot more marketing style. Okay. So this was the idea of comparing TikTok and Yik Yak. All right. I like those. Those are two pretty modern apps. So TikTok attracted me because it's the most popular social media apps Not only is it the top most downloaded app on the Apple Store in Q1, more than 33 million downloads, nice figures. TikTok current figure sales is 17.26, probably $billion. I can't believe it's that much. They didn't get a denomination in there. It has been downloaded over 8 billion times. I find that hard to believe because there's barely 8 billion people in the world. But people must be downloading it multiple times. Originally released in 2018, not long ago, TikTok used to be an app called Musical.ly. You may have been asking, how are they alike? Well, both provide entertainment and basically the same, but TikTok is more advanced technology-wise. Also, Musical.ly was shut down so they can improve and update the app, which helped the app very well. Okay, where is it advertised? Who do they target? TikTok is advertised on media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, so very social media oriented, right? Probably on the App Store. TikTok affects the economy because influencers based in the US will lose an entire revenue source if they lose access to TikTok. And since most stores, shopping places partner up with TikTokers, we'll lose a lot of money. The goal of TikTok is to entertain teenagers in different ways, such as dance videos, funny videos, relatable art videos. One of the things they were saying is, oh, here we are. So were there fads that contribute to the success of TikTok? Each person had their own unique page. A For You page is where all the millions of content is for. For example, my page was full of One Direction, spreading awareness about many things, relatable content, which made me interested in a lot of other people. A lot of other people may have dance videos, Harry Potter. The idea that they could customize a page for themselves really appealed. Yik Yak. Yik Yak was an app made in 2013. This app targeted teens and college students to let them talk with each other anonymously. It raised 73.5 million in venture capital and was valued at 400 million. This was a very popular app. You may be wondering, what is wrong with this app? Well, that's where it gets bad. What do you think the problem is going to be in an anonymous app, an anonymous chat app?
It could be dangerous because like talking to strangers online has a lot of risks, and so there's obviously like the threat of cyberbullying or like people who are like older and everything that are like predators.
Right. So it doesn't seem like the best idea, but this was early in the internet, 2013. So people weren't really aware of what the problems could be. I think Dina summarized very well exactly what they ran into. Yik Yak fails and doubts. This app had many fads that led to the failure. The app, severe cyberbullying for students that led to many schools blocking the app. 2014, many people left death or bomb threats on Yik Yak to a school in Massachusetts, which forced the school to be evacuated. Having the ability to anonymously post whatever you want, sadly, I would say it speaks to who we are as Homo sapiens, who we are as human beings. For some reason, there is something in us that wants to be better than other people, wants to be able to tear down other people sometimes. That somehow that makes us feel good that I'm better than you. Particularly if you're the low man on the totem pole who everybody picks on, you want someone to pick on because everybody picks on you. So having an anonymous outlet opens the floodgates for people who want to try and intimidate or pick on other people without any consequences to themselves. Because usually they are, you're cowardly. You're cowardly when you're attacking people from behind a screen. Okay. So teen suicides apparently were a problem associated with Yik Yak. Lots of teens deleted the app since it was dangerous. They lost a ton of money. They updated it in 2016, but it only got worse since they didn't try to make the app safer. So the app ended up shutting down because the app lost a lot of users, sorry. Differences comparing. Although both TikTok and Yik Yak apps, they're made for entertaining or comforting teens, only one of them succeeded, which was TikTok, because it is an entertaining app which made people laugh and dance. Also, this app gives people a unique For You page, and people become friends with other people by noticing or seeing them on the For You page. But on the other hand, Yik Yak was made for teens so they can interact with each other anonymously. But it turned into something terrible real fast since people started getting bullied, harassed, and threatened. And so the app failed dramatically. All right. Wow. So, and then we've got a nice page of annotations showing the sources and a little note to me. Okay. So I really enjoyed that because I didn't know a lot about Yik Yak. And that all makes sense in terms of the bullying and the issues that they had. And you can imagine for the people who created Yik Yak, the idea that cyberbullying was going to be a big use of their app, do you think they realized that that would be a consequence of having an anonymous app? To get us back to consequences and things? I don't think they did. Now, the other thing I wanted to say about the difference between TikTok and Yik Yak is the idea that part of the reason that TikTok succeeded and Yik Yak did not was TikTok cares about their user experience. They have put a lot of time and effort into creating the pages for you, into creating cool ways that you can watch your video and stuff, that TikTok really is dedicated to the customer, where Yik Yak doesn't seem to care what happens to their customer. All they want to do is make money. And the problem is you can't make money when your customer doesn't like your product anymore because you're not paying attention to them. So remember, a great product is customer centric. All right? All right. So let me stop sharing and I'm going to go into our project. So what we're going to do right now, oh, did I? I swear I did. Assignments, where are you? Ooh, I don't want assignments, actually, I want quizzes. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Okay, so we're going to be doing a quiz that is similar to this for our homework, for our project, all right? This quiz, I was worried about you responding to because we haven't really talked about manufacturing and stuff. But what this is asking, so this one is saying, in manufacturing, describe how cars were assembled before robotics were introduced. Can somebody describe for me how cars were assembled before robotics were introduced? I've got a fabulous random caller. Let's see. Actually, I don't think Ramon's here, right? Ramon? Cheyenne. Cheyenne, you're here. How were cars made before robotics were introduced? Cheyenne, are you here? You're here in theory. Okay. How were cars made before robotics?
I have no clue.
Come on. If it's not made by a robot, who's got to be making it?
People.
People, correct. So that's what we're getting at here, right? How are cars assembled before robotics were introduced? They had to be handmade. Originally, cars were made in little groups that they had, like the car would sit there and a team of like 6 different engineers would assemble everything onto the car by themselves. Then Henry Ford figured out if he made an assembly line that moved the pieces of the car to the workers so they could do their work, and then it would move to the next one, that would be a more efficient and effective process. Okay, so robotics and mechanization being introduced to cars, we're going to ask, what were 3 positive impacts of human workers, where human workers are replaced by technology? Okay, you can put this in the chat, or you can just sing out, or I can call people. 3 positive impacts, and this is probably from the company's perspective, not the workers, of replacing human workers with technology, machines or a robot.
It's more cost effective and it's more time effective.
Okay, it's going to be more cost effective and everything's going to work faster. Okay, let me pick somebody to give our third one. Nicole Moran. What's another advantage to a company of replacing their workers with technology? Nicole? Any ideas? Okay, let me try one more. Aaron Main. One more thing of what's an advantage to a company by replacing their workers with technology?
Maybe, well, you already said cost and time, right?
Cost and time, but I'll let you have something in cost. What does losing workers do for the company?
They have to pay less workers.
They have to pay less salaries, less insurance, benefits, all that stuff. So the fewer workers, that's a plus for the company because they don't have to pay as much. What is, all right, so I'll let you also have for next, what is a downside of that?
More unemployment.
Well, very good. So for one, you're going to have more unemployment. You're going to have workers that are out of work because they've been replaced.
Technology can malfunction.
Technology can malfunction, that it doesn't necessarily always do everything that you want it to. If you have a blackout, if you have a storm, that could be a problem. The thing I was thinking about was, what does it cost to implement that technology compared to the wages you were paying your workers? I'm going to, Orlando Romero Flores. Orlando, think about this. Will it cost more or less to mechanize a factory or just pay the workers their salary? And I guess this is a short-term and a long-term question.
I feel like it would cost less for the workers.
Okay. And what about, what does it take to bring robotics or mechanization into a factory?
More workers. It takes people to create like automation.
Well, it takes people, but they're going to leave. What I was thinking was more of, what is the cost to the company to install all those robots and turn the assembly line from a human assembly line into a robotic assembly line?
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, sure you are. Have you ever bought a robot?
No.
Why haven't you bought a robot?
I don't even know where is
I
that?
hear you, but no, just think about it. Like you've never bought, a big robot because they're really expensive. So the idea that mechanizing a factory, creating a robotic assembly line is typically going to cost the company a lot of capital. It's going to cost them a lot of money initially to put all that technology in. It's going to cost them a lot more probably than just paying their workers. So why would they do it? Why are you replacing workers with technology if it costs more than the workers to start with? Anyone? Here, we'll try my magic picker.
Oh,
Oop, here we go. Foster or
I
Schnell.
was gonna say maybe because like technology kind of work faster.
It's more efficient. What's going to happen is the machinery is going to pay for itself over time. It is going to be more expensive for the company in the first 5 years, let's say, to mechanize their assembly line with robots than it is to pay their workers for the next 5 years. But maybe the salaries, 5-year salary of all the workers on the assembly line might be a couple $1 million that would allow the company to do this mechanization. It's always going to be a calculation. You've got to balance, are we going to be making money? Is this change going to benefit the company in the end? Okay? So negative impacts are people lose jobs, people lose income, everything basically that we've been talking about. So now I want to shift back to what we're going to be doing in a week. All right. So this is going to be your project. All right. It's going to be due next Tuesday, right? So a week. And it's in the module. It's the unit 2, impacts of technology. All right, so I am still sharing. Good. Okay, so if I preview this, the first question is, think for a moment and imagine a machine that could cut 10 hours of work down to 1. Select a machine and then use a few words to describe an industry today that would benefit greatly from this kind of machine and how it might benefit. So where the quiz we were just working on is grounded in reality, that you're talking about people being replaced on a assembly line by machines, this is actually more imagination. I want you to imagine a machine that could cut 10 hours of work down to 1. What's an example? Let's say a robot on an assembly line. But I find that everyone has such interesting ideas in this class. I'm really interested to see what kind of machines you think of. So select a machine that's going to cut the time of an operation from 10 hours down to 1. So building a slideshow, cutting a video, doing I don't know what. Somehow this machine is going to turn what is a 10-hour job now into 1 hour of work. So select the machine, then use a few words to describe an industry today that would benefit greatly from this kind of machine and how it might benefit. The next things are our friends describe in separate sentences, 3 sentences, 3 positive implications for such an innovation. What are 3 positive things that would happen from a company getting a machine that can turn 10 hours of work into 1 hour? They've got to be making money from that, okay? And then the last one is just what are 3 negative implications? Okay, describe in 3 separate sentences 3 negative impacts or consequences of such an innovation. Okay, so we've got, oh, Leslie, I should have called on you. Les Jobs is a great one. I'm just looking at my chat. So we have about 3 minutes left, and we can talk about anything that we like. So I wanted to go through that first one as an example of what this could be, because I think this one is a little more open-ended, and it makes it open to us to imagine and create, which I like because we're supposed to be inventors and innovators in this class. But it takes us back to this idea of what are 3 good things and what are 3 bad things. I implore everyone to do this quiz because this is big points. This is a 30-point quiz. So you will have a week to do this. You can look at products, you can come up with ideas, you can think about it, you can come visit me on Wednesday and we can chat. Does anybody have any questions or problems? You're just going to do it right in the assignment. That'll all be fine. I think technically, okay. So I thought this one seemed more interesting than the one about mechanization of the automobile, particularly because we haven't done much about the automobile. I just thought this was a good way to finish. We've really spent a month thinking about costs and consequences of different innovations in technology. We've talked about the car, we've talked about, car production. We've gone over this a fair amount. So you will have time in the next class to work on this. But think about what you're doing, find something interesting. One of my favorite marketing products was a hair detangler that they said worked really well. There's all kinds of strange stuff out there. You guys come up with great ideas and I'm very proud of you. Right now, class is over. So I will see you on Friday. And you don't have any homework until then. Just think about this project, okay?
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
I'm in the beautiful flower market in Paris.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Thank you. And great job, Schnell. Yours is amazing.
Oh, thank you. Okay, bye. Have a good one.
Goodbye. Everybody. Jackson, I want to see a project from you. Dixon, or sorry, Mectis?
Wait, so I'm still a little bit confused on this project.
Okay.
So are we picking an innovation or are we?
You are the innovator.
Oh, okay.
You are looking at any process out there that is technology driven or whatever. And it's up to you to think up some kind of a machine that would cut that process from 10 hours down to 1 hour. So an example is like a robotic welder. That they can make welds way faster than a human, right?
Okay.
But let's say I run a t-shirt shop. I'm going to invent a computerized silk screening machine that can knock out t-shirts 1,000 an hour. Okay? It's going to be the best thing for the resort industry ever because every resort is powered by stupid t-shirts with stupid names on them. So that's the idea. You're going to imagine some kind of a machine that is going to cut a process from what normally takes 10 hours down to 1 hour, and then say, what would the benefits of that be? Probably to the people who run the company. Typically, it's not to the worker. And what would the negative impacts be?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No worries. Anybody, Beverly, Jackson, questions? Beverly, Jackson? Jackson? Hello? All right, kids. I'm running away.